Love and light, soul family, love and light. First and foremost, I want to apologize to y'all, for my last post that I created, clearing the air, pertaining to a situation dealing with a specific individual. In all honesty, I truly wish that I didn't have to, create that video and, make it public by posting it online. But I felt the need of having to do it as a means of protection for myself, simply because the fact of the matter is the individual that I was directing that message to, I know that they continuously watch me on all of my platforms, and they watch these videos, not in a sense of, supporting me in no way, shape, or form, but just to be nosy in the attempts to see what it is I'm doing, who I'm with, and what I got going on, and, things of that nature. And quite frankly, in all honesty, it's truly getting annoying, simply because the fact of the matter is, I've tried to verbally explain to this individual that I want nothing to do with them in no way, shape, or form, period. All across the board. No friendships, no communication, no relationship, or none of the above. But for some reason, this individual just doesn't seem to grasp the concept of the message that I keep on trying to get across to them. And every single time I attempt to, explain this to this individual, they will attempt to try and manipulate my words and gaslight me in the attempts to try and confuse me by making it seem like, oh, I'm just running from, my feelings that I have for them, and that, no matter how far I run, that, the love that I have for them will continue to follow me, and, they're my soulmate and we're supposed to be together and stuff like that. And I have completely, separated myself from this individual, at least for, the last 3 months, in all honesty. And I continue to tell this individual, hey, move on with your life, live your life, do you, let me go. But for some reason, this individual seems to believe and or think that, oh, I'm in love with them, that I want to be with them. And they continue to tell me, you love me, and you want to be with me. And the thing about it is when it comes to me, I'm a very, direct individual. I will tell you exactly what is on my mind, what is on my heart, how I feel, and all of the above. And I have told this person that whatever it is that you believe, it's a lie. You need to come out of this fairy tale world that you're living in and come back to reality, because whatever it is that you believe that I, feel for you, it is not the case. But for some reason, this person still does not grasp the concept at all, in no way, shape, or form. So even after me explaining this to this individual numerous times, over and over and over, whether it's verbally, in person, whether it's verbally over the phone, or, through text messages, this person will not leave me alone. I've went above and beyond in regards to blocking this individual from calling and texting my phone. They found a loophole to where they'll turn around and, they can get through by calling me on block numbers, or, utilizing other people's phones to try and get in contact with me, But I found a way around that too. And I've already let this person know, hey, if you do not leave me alone, you know what is next that is to come. I am going to go and get a restraining order against you, as well as a no communication order. Simply because the fact of the matter is if the shoe was on the other foot, and I was doing this to this individual, it would be borderline stalking. And, I would be on the verge of going to jail, simply because the fact of the matter is this person would have verbalized this to me over and over and over, and I'm just not, complying with their demands in regards to what it is that they were asking me. So if it was me in that role of doing this to that individual, especially with them being a female. Guess what? Boom. Those steps would have already been said and done. But simply because I'm a male and this is a female that I'm dealing with, I'm trying to give this person a little bit of leeway, simply because I'm an understanding and compassionate individual. You have children, you have a family, and I'm verbally telling you, I don't want to take those necessary steps that could put you in a predicament to where you lose your kids. And this individual continues to try to overstep my boundaries that I have put into place, continuously attempting to try and, invade my privacy. And I will not tolerate it in no way, shape, or form. I will no longer allow it at all, by no means, because I mean what I say when I say what I say. Simple as that. So that last video that I posted, that was a means of protection for me, so it can be known, considering I've already stated all of the above to this individual. And so, if that boundary is crossed one more time, this is what's going to happen. Simply because I am done playing games. I will not be disrespected in no way, shape, or form from no one. Period. I am a man of my word in all ways, shapes, and forms. So if you can't understand and or comply with what it is that I'm asking of you in the attempts to maintain my peace, all because, you want to bring out, that anger and aggression, or, those low vibrational energies, that we all possess within us. If you want me to bring out that shadow side of myself, I will, but not in the ways in which that you expect. In no way, shape, or form. I will bring it out in the correct ways, I should say. And that will be involving the law, to get you to leave me alone and understand that I am not playing by no means. Simple as that. And I'm not typically an individual who involves the law in anything. But I will, simply because you ain't getting it. But you gonna get it. You gonna learn today. Simple as that. You gonna learn today. So hopefully, and I truly do mean hopefully, you see that I mean business, because I am not playing by no means, in no way, shape, or form. Nobody will ever tell me how I feel, what it is I want, yet alone attempt to try and make me conform to their demands or what it is that they want at all. By no means. No means no. And I have had enough. So with that being said, you either gonna get with the program, or you gonna suffer and reap the consequences of your actions. Simple as that. And I'm not playing no more. So you have that choice to make whatever decision it is that you want to make. But just know that that choice, it does have consequences and repercussions. Simple as that. So I advise you to leave me alone and keep it moving. Live your life, be happy and be free, or fuck around and find out if you keep on coming at me, bruh. Simple as that. I am not playing in no way, shape, or form. Like I said, I mean what I say. Period. I do not tolerate disrespect. So that's just a little bit of, words of wisdom, or a little bit of advice to that individual. But again, like I said, to the people who tap in and follow me, you know what I'm saying, and who truly do support me, hey, I truly do apologize for having to make this public, and, getting y'all involved in this, but like I said, this right here, it's a means of protection for myself, because I know how the system works, and I know how people can be. So I have to do what I have to do in order to maintain, my sovereignty as well as my freedom, because I will not let nobody threaten neither of the above regarding my sovereignty, my freedom, and my peace. So I apologize to you, the viewers, but to the individual that I'm speaking with, you know what time it is, and I ain't playing. Simple as that. I hope you honestly grasp the concept and you get the warning this time on anything. Love and light. Y'all stay blessed. But fellas, understand, hey, in situations like this, you got to make sure, you know what I'm saying, you have that evidence to back your claims up. Do whatever it is that you got to do in order for you to, be straight. Because at the end of the day, it's always going to be your word against their word. Simple as that. So make sure you got them receipts on everything you love. Make sure you got them receipts. Don't let nobody, you know what I'm saying, attempt to try and force you into a corner or back you into a corner and force anything upon you that you don't want to necessarily do. In no way, shape, or form. Protect yourself by all means. Y'all stay blessed. Love and light.